Hello students, today we are going to learn the case study of the Chola rulers. Vijayalaya, who initially was a feudatory of Pallavas, founded this dynasty. His capital was Tanjavur, which is known for the beautiful city of temples. The Cholas ruled in South India between 800 CE and 1200 CE. The glory of Chola dynasty is in large measure attributed means assigned to Raja Chola first and Rajendra Chola first. Let us know something about them in brief. Raja first was the prominent ruler of Chola dynasty. Following his expansionist policy, Raja Chola first defeated Cheras and Pandyas, the Ganga dynasty in Karnataka, and Chalukyas of Twengi. Later, he annexed the northern part of Sri Lanka and the Maldives island to his empire. His kingdom was organized on the line of efficiency, both economic and military. Rajendra Chola I was the son of Raja Chola. He followed the expansionist policy of his father and defeated Chalukyas in the west and Pala rulers of Bengal. Later on, completed the conquest of Sri Lanka. He marched across Kalinga to Bengal, crossing the Ganga, and defeated the local rulers and assumed the title of Gangaikonda Chola, or the Chola conqueror of Ganga, and built a new capital near the river Kaveri called Gangaikota Cholapuram, or the city of Chola conqueror of the Ganga. Defeating the ruler of the Sri Vijaya Empire, he extended over the Malaya Peninsula, Sumatra, Java, and neighboring island. For this expedition, he developed his navy. Well, expedition means military campaign designed to achieve a specific object or land. Now let us see socio-political and economic setup during the Chola period. First of all, we will see administration of the empire. In Chola administration, king was the head in empire. There was a council of ministers to support him and advise him. Their military included cavalry, infantry, elephants, and a strong navy. Whole empire was divided into mandalams or provinces. Each province was divided into Valanadu and Nadu. Well, Valanadu means district and Nadu was a group of villages. A large village has rights to administer separately and it was called as Tanur. Sometimes princes were appointed as the governors of provinces. Chola rulers used to grant their lands and the authority of collecting revenue to their officials. Now let us know about village and town administration. The local self-government included two assemblies, the Ur and Sabha or Mahasabha. The inscriptions of Uttarameru from Tamil Nadu describe the village assembly in great detail. By this description, we came to know that the Ur was the general assembly of common people. It has all rights of the lands of the village. In contrast, there was the Sabha of Brahmanas who own Brahmadeya granted by the king to them. As the Chola rulers granted land to a large number of Brahmanas, a number of Brahmana settlements emerged in the Chola Empire. This Sabha was operated by different committees to look after various aspects of local administration, including temples, gardens, irrigation, assessment of land revenue, maintenance of law and order, and so on. The Nagarama was the assembly of traders, merchants, and sometimes artisans. It played important role in urban administration. Types of land. There were different types of lands. Velanvagai was the land of non-Brahmana peasants. Brahmadeya, we already discussed it, it was the granted land from the king to Brahmanas. Shalabhoga was the land which was maintained for the school. Devadana or the Tiruna Muttakkani was the land gifted to temples. And the land which was donated to Jaina Institute was called as Palichchadam. Now let us see the economical condition during this dynasty. The Cholas encouraged trade and commerce. The Coromandel and Malabar coast were the centers of India's trade with Southeast Asia. The Chola ruler fixed the share of land revenue by elaborating land survey, and taxes were also collected from tolls on trade, professions, and from the plunder of neighboring territory. Well, plunder means loot. The Chola rulers built great capitals and temples. These temples were center of cultural life, acting as an audience hall and a place for other activities such as ceremonial dances performed by the Devdasis. The temple was a small city or palace for the priest with the arrangement of living rooms. These temples were free from revenue, rather used to get donation from wealthy merchants. Chola inscriptions. Chola inscriptions were the main source of Chola history and the socio-economic life of the people. The historian found the copper plate inscriptions which recorded title deeds of land grants and also the conquest and events. It included inscriptions inside the Brihadeshwara temple at Tanjavur, which is useful to reconstruct the history of this period. Uttarameru temple inscriptions made by King Parantaka I give us information about local self-government of Chola Empire. Some of these inscriptions also showed the royal seal of the dynasty. Marks of mason are also sometimes found on these inscriptions. They tell us about the conquest of King Rajendra Chola and gift made to temple. The systematic way of giving donation shows the organizational capability of the rulers. Brahmanas were getting land grants either individually or collectively. Language and literature. The Chola rulers patronized art and literature. Popular bhakti saints called Nayanar and Alavars, who were devotees of Shiva and Vishnu respectively, flourished in the Tamil region between the 6th and 9th century. They composed oral bhakti poetry. The age of Kamban is considered the golden age of Tamil literature, and his Ramayana is considered a classic in Tamil literature. So students, in this way we come to the end of this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it.